those of you who are regular viewers will be really familiar with El Salvador and Nayib Bukele, its young president, who has adopted Bitcoin as an alternative to the US dollar, which is the main currency there. We unfortunately have reports as of, I think 2 days ago it first came out, and I wrote about it this morning, that it has not been conclusively linked to the Bukele administration, but there is clear evidence that a number of journalists and activists in El Salvador have been attacked using a piece of software known as Pegasus, which is installed on their phones remotely and can access data on those devices. It has been used in a number of repressive regimes in places like Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia, and similar software has been linked to the murder of journalists. So I wrote a piece that might be out by now, saying that, I've been hesitant to be too hard on Bukele because some of the things that people have pointed to as signs of reasons not to trust him are a little bit questionable, or at least not clear. But this is a pretty strong red line for me, and I think for a lot of people, that, if this turns out to have been his doing, which there seems to be good evidence for, he's no longer palatable to me as a champion of Bitcoin, or the values that it represents. So this is very depressing personally, and obviously terrible for the journalists. Have experienced some harassment based on the government's ability to monitor them. So that's the short version of the story. It's really not great. And it will be interesting to see what the reactions are from the Bitcoin community over the next few days as they try and square the idea that this guy who has been a big champion for Bitcoin also seems to be engaged in some extremely not okay behavior for the leader of a supposed democracy. I don't know who wants to chime in on that depressing note, but Naomi.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I mean, a few things. So first of all, NSO Group, an anonymous spokesperson, said that actually El Salvador has no account with them. They haven't been buying software. So it's not proven that it was Bukele.
Yes, fair.
The word is still out there. But if you're looking at who would be targeting the press in particular of a country, and a press that has been particularly hard against the administration, that does seem to have some red flags.
Has been an opponent, so yeah.
Absolutely. So that has some red flags there, just because you've got to join the dots as journalists and kind of piece together what's not being said. I will say that, I don't think anyone should ever have been a champion of Bukele. He's a dictator. He's had a lot of authoritarian things that he's done, including the mandate in the Bitcoin law. Let's not forget about that, even though people like to whitewash it. I think that we can separate. I mean, we should absolutely be cheering the proliferation of Bitcoin. Absolutely cheer that this wonderful decentralized money is being spread across the world. That doesn't mean we have to cheer the dictators who are doing it. We go back to this point all the time when we're talking about this 4 horsemen of the fiat ending apocalypse, as we talk about always, and the early days of crypto, the crypto world. All the cypherpunks, this is what they were talking about. What will the world look like if Bitcoin becomes a success? And obviously one of the big signs that it's become a success is you have central banks competing with each other, rushing to add Bitcoin to its reserves. That doesn't make these central banks automatically the good guys at all. We can differentiate between the tool that's being proliferated and the people who are doing it. It doesn't mean that these dictators are the good guys. It doesn't mean that central banks are the good guys. This tool is a good thing, and being spread to more people is a good thing. It's not good when it's by force, obviously, but we can definitely cheer that alternative monies are being spread out there. But I'll throw it to you, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that's been said already. This just goes completely against the Bitcoin ethos. But Bukele has been completely opaque in what's been happening in the administration as it relates to Bitcoin. So Naomi, you touched on the law. He said he was going to amend that law on Twitter, but nothing ever actually happened when it came to the actual legislation and the documents. Oh, there's the video clip. The finance minister said that they've sold Bitcoin, but they've not revealed actually how much Bitcoin they've sold or how much they're holding now. And now they're targeting journalists. So, David, I completely agree with you. I am curious to see how the Bitcoin and crypto community is going to react to this news as we move forward. And I hope that the people who were supporting Bukele, because of the, I guess, his innovative way of thinking about crypto, if we put all of the opaqueness aside, I hope that they can think about this a little bit differently.
I'll just say, don't let the backwards baseball hat fool you. Okay, people? These are tendencies that have been on display for a while now. And, I think Naomi, to her credit, has been very early and often in voicing her criticism of some of the fine print of this law that was a really big moment for Bitcoin in 2021. But it's certainly, as you say, right, it doesn't immediately make this government the good guys in the fight for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It's something that requires scrutiny, and unfortunately, some of those people providing that scrutiny in the press in El Salvador have been personally targeted as a result of doing that, which is not great. So back to Naomi for your thoughts.
Yeah, just to kind of add final thoughts into that, Zach, with the fine print that's going into this Bitcoin law, and with everyone saying, but he tweeted that this wasn't the case and he's not going to abide by that, and there are these other things going on. I mean, that's the sign of someone who values the word in his tweets above the word in the laws of the country, which also isn't a good sign either. If he actually values these things he's putting into law and he believes in the rule of law and all of this, then you would make sure that the law represents what the government actually intends to do, not just whatever he decides to tweet on the day, which can be changed and vacuous. I mean, who uses Twitter as the resounding truth of that country? So it's that should be a red flag as well, that there were these incongruencies between what the laws are saying and what the administration is saying in their press releases and then their Twitter posts, and then they're talking with journalists. There shouldn't be incongruency with that.